language of the people around the close talker. He's still yapping with Mom. This is funny, by the way, but oh well. You can't hear it. I can do Jerry Seinfeld. Can you believe that the audio on this thing repeats? Okay, here we go. Here's your close talker guy. Can you guys see? Sort of? All right. All right. What is she doing? What are some things you're seeing? She's backing up, right? She looks uncomfortable, the chin tucks down. He's taking a couple steps back, right? These are cues. If you see this stuff, it means, oh boy, I'm too close. Back off, all right? Oh, we did that exercise. All right. Haptics, or touching. Generally speaking, Americans are not very touchy. We don't touch each other very much, which in a way is sad, right? Because like the Italians and the Brazilians, they touch each other all the time. They also live longer. So there's some good things about that. But in our culture, touching is pretty much reserved for very close personal friends or family or somebody you're going to make out with. So outside of a handshake, people don't touch here very much. Maybe a pat on the back or a high five, but even that's pretty rare. Shaking hands is the most common form of physical contact. It's more common than in the US than in Asia, where you're more likely to see maybe a bow or a Y in certain parts of Asia. So let's talk about how you do this. I need a volunteer. You can come. Very nice. What's your name?
Melody.
Melody. I'm Jeanette. So I'm going to hold my hand out. See, she's standing up. The thumb is going to be about 45 degrees. Then we're going to hold like this. We're going to make eye contact. Nice to meet you, Melody. And we're going to be close enough so that we can shake at the elbow. 1, 2, and done. When we're too far apart, we get this shoulder shake, which looks very weird, right? And if we're too close, we get all jumbled up in here. So you want to just be in that personal space, 2 pumps, because what happens if I keep shaking your hand? This looks weird too, right? This is not cool. What, you feel a little uncomfortable right now? Yeah, okay. Good job, Melody. Thank you very much. Yay! Not too hard. You're not crushing walnuts. Not too soft. You're not the Queen of England. Okay? Just get on in there like you could hold an egg, right? Not crush it. Not too long. Don't do this politician's handshake where you cut. This is just weird and uncomfortable. Don't do that, okay? Handshake rules. Unless you're senior, you do not have to initiate a handshake if you don't want to. If you are with a woman, let the woman initiate the handshake. Here's why. Even in this world of women's lib, where men and women are sort of equal in some ways, there are certain cultures where it is not okay for a woman to be touched by a man. We in America are a multicultural society, so you don't know if the woman is in that situation unless she tells you. So you should let a woman initiate a handshake in that situation. Never abort, right? See, this cat's like, high five, don't leave me hanging, bro. Right? If somebody puts their hand out there, I don't care if you think they have the bubonic plague, you're supposed to shake their hands. Okay? Because otherwise it's very rude. It's very rude. We don't always shake hands in the United States. A lot of times we have less formal methods of acknowledgement, like the smile, the nod. How many of you ever watched Friends? Yeah, Joey, how you doing? Right? He's got the nod. For women, more often than men, it's a small wave. Hi. A high five or a fist bump. There is the Hollywood kiss. Don't ever initiate the Hollywood kiss because it's very pretentious. But it may happen to you, and if it does, you just have to channel Zsa Zsa Gabor and go with it, okay? So if somebody does the Hollywood kiss, it's And then you back up and figure out how quick you could get away from this person because they are just going to drive you nuts, all right? Touching is mostly for friends, family, and lovers. Okay. Now, we're going to do another quick exercise. I need you to pair off in groups of 2, and I need you to spread out, and I want you to greet one another. Whether that greeting is a handshake, a fist bump, a high five, a nod, or a smile and a wave are up to you. Sometimes you will get your signals crossed. This is normal, but that's something that you have to learn how to do. Like, you go in for the handshake, the guy's up here for the Eiffel Tower high five. You just got to negotiate it because you will fail, but that's okay because you'll learn, and try again. Groups of 2. Quick, quick. We got a lot to cover. Switch! Switch! Find somebody else! Switch! Switch! Find somebody else! Okay, everybody sit. Okay, anybody want to talk about the experience, what they learned, what they felt? If nobody says yes, I will call on you. Is no time. Is no time. Come on, somebody tell me what that was like. If they learned something, if they had a frustrating experience. No?
I think with guys.
With guys?
Yeah, it's difficult, to initiate a conversation.
Okay. What do you think about it is difficult?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Experience.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You don't have to know.
Depends with girls and looks like more friendly.
Uh-huh.
More things we can talk about,
Okay.
And with guys, looks like you probably a little bit defensive.
Okay. A little bit afraid, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So guys, this is something to be aware of, right? To know that women may find it challenging to meet you. So what are some things, guys, that you can do to seem more friendly and safer? Smile, that's a good one. Other ideas? Open gestures? Sure. Pardon me?
Don't shy.
Don't.
Don't be shy.
Oh, don't be shy, yeah. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard to not be shy. You guys might not believe it, but in many situations, I am very shy. And I had to learn how to do this stuff. We're not born knowing how to do this. We learn how to do it. Okay, so there was a hand over here. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so I finished after greeting, so see, how are you, and see the name, they have difficult to keep talking, so
Yeah.
the first time.
We're going to talk a lot about what comes next, right? Because it's like, hi, I'm Jeanette. Oh, I can't look at my watch. Right, it's hard. And we're going to talk about conversation starters and conversation continuers. All right, before we get to that, though, I want to talk about your voice. If we want to move up, if we want to bust through that bamboo ceiling, the voice is a very important tool. And I'm talking about the tone of your voice. You want to speak in a loud, clear voice because that sounds like leadership. You don't want to be that guy on the party you could hear from 20 miles away, right? But you want to speak in a loud, clear voice. You don't want to do this where people have to come up and say, what? I'm sorry? What is this? What's this? No? Right? Because you want people to hear you. You are all smart. You're all talented. You're all here because you have something to share. So you need to get that voice and get out there and speak. You want to avoid vocal fry tones, okay? That's where you get in this gravelly part of your voice. And sometimes, like, teenage girls do it, and it sounds really weird. But sometimes, right, all of us get down in that gravelly part of our voice, which is not easy to hear or understand, and it doesn't really project authority. One other thing I want to talk about is that some of us sometimes get into a pattern where we're talking and we're making statements, but the voice goes up at the end, so it kind of sounds like a question. Right? What do you think people's perception of you is if you speak that way? Any ideas? You have no conclusion. You're not sure. Like, you're saying things, but you're not really sure if what you're saying is right or makes any sense. And that's not what we want. So in the U.S., questions go up at the end, but almost everything else is a statement. The sentence, the period of the sentence goes down. And that projects authority. I have spoken. There is the period at the end of the sentence. Okay? All right. So, one other thing I got to tell you is Americans hate silence. We're not good at it. So most of the time when you are speaking with a native English-speaking American and there's silence in the conversation, what are they going to do? They're going to start talking. So if you are a person who is used to hanging back and leaving space in the conversation for other people, make sure that you don't leave too much space because they will drive a herd of elephants through that space. Okay? So you want to make sure that you are assertive and that you're heard. Now sometimes you don't have something brilliant to say. That happens to all of us. And so you can do what is kind of like when somebody's shutting the door and you stick your foot in there, right? You can do the vocal equivalent of that. And you could say, you know, and then you've got like 3 seconds to come up with something brilliant, okay? 3 seconds, think fast. But you can't just hang back and expect necessarily for people to be polite and leave you space in the conversation, especially in a work environment where there's a lot of people together competing for the same stuff. All right, we're going to talk about making conversation, but I'm going to give you first a 10-minute break. Okay, so the potties are out and around. Get a good break, get a little something to drink because we got hard work to do for the next hour, all right?